Hello everybody, my name is FlexDragon457 and welcome back to episode 3 of maybe 4 for chapter 1. It's a longer chapter than chapter 0, but chapter 0 was just a prologue, so I don't know, maybe I'll have 4 or 5 episodes per chapter, so I don't know, just expect that. So, we left off. Now, I'm not an expert on the Outlands. You can probably get more out of Gibby, Natalie, or your best friend Whit. I love him. Yeah, we know you do. So, if you're looking for more info on this whole area, I'd chat with them. But for me, I grew up on Samathi, and that place, well, it was a little more secluded than the other planets. I worked on Samathi once. I was a cook at a restaurant on Olympus's fine dining district. No way, you looked at Tenmei? You work at Tenmei? I used to go there all the time when I was little. But you know how expensive that place is. And that's the real problem with my family. We were rich. Sure, the wealth led to a pretty sweet upbringing. How many people do you know had a currency named after them? But having a Shay coin didn't really matter when I found out where the money actually came from. Oh no, it didn't come from happiness, did it? Because that would be great. Afraid not. It was definitely no birthday party, I'll tell you that much. But it was a party. I spent the entire part of my life in a gown. I mean, don't get me wrong, I liked it. I looked good. I ate the best food and the parties. They were something else. I did have a good time. My parents used to throw me these galas for their rich friend at least once a month. I didn't know at the time what the point of these parties was. I just knew that I was there to look my best and entertain the kids. The Silvas used to come all the time. That's Octane Silvas. You two have an interesting friendship. You're right, Path. Interesting is one word. Octavio Silva, or Octane. Now that he's a legend, his family was friends with my family. The two of us have known each other for a good long time now. His parents didn't do business with mine. They were just friends. The wealthy on Samathi tend to run with the same circles, and we ran in some circles. We went to the private school, the same friends' birthday parties, the same everything. It was all fine back then, but when I changed, I guess everything changed. And it was that party when it all went down, when trust broke. I think I was 19. It was another monthly gala with the people of Solace to the now fringe worlds. But this time, my parents were celebrating the opening of Chevrets Inc., the new drone facility on Olympus. It was sort of a big deal, but none of the stuff ever interested me, which is probably why it all just happened right under my nose. Wow, so you and Octane have always been like this? Yeah, I guess you could say that. I guess you could say we were back in the day. Even after I found out the truth about my parents and left that life, Silva was the only one I kept in touch with. Although he was trapped in his family's wealth, he was not too bad at living his own life. He had a massive following on the feed and traveled all over the Outlands for thrill competitions. It's because of him that I had a chance to leave, and he knew why I wanted to. The night of that party, the two of us stumbled upon the truth. That's the night I saw that Chevrex was actually doing. That's the night I learned who my parents really were. War profiteers. I was so embarrassed, angry. I was changed. After that night, Silva was heading to Solace for a gauntlet competition and offered to bring me along. I wasn't ready to face my parents. I was disgusted with them, and I was with myself. But most of all, I didn't know who I really was anymore. I figured maybe the trip would do me good, so I packed up a few things and we chartered to the first ship off-planet. I had never been to Solace up until that point. Can you believe that? I sheltered myself. I mean, why would I have wanted to leave my home and everything I wanted? Silva left because the kid got bored easily. But me? I thought I had it all. I was wrong, and Solace City shoved that in my face pretty quick. I remember the first thing I did was stop into the Paradise Lounge for a beverage. I had never gone into a place like that for any reason, but that old me was wrong and gone. I had a new start, and it was time to test that out. Paradise Lounge is Elliot's bar. I've been there. Right. So you know why we barely took 2 steps in before turning around. That place smelled like old boots and seawater. We didn't want to take the chance to catch, well, anything. Luckily, there was a music joint not far from the place. We sort of followed the sound. It was faster. It carried much more of an edge than what we were used to in Samathi. Well, at least more than I was used to. Silva always sought out new things like that. He could never sit still. Boredom is his greatest fear. I guess that's why he's got such an exciting personality, which is probably why everyone once was friends with him, like the musicians playing near Paradise Lounge. Apparently, Silva did a racing competition on Gay one year where this band performed. It worked out for me because they left me in awe. The musicians were just like their music, raw, edgy, and real. To tell you the truth, Path, I didn't even know what a t-shirt was before then. I was used to gowns and dresses, but it was a new life, so it was time for a new look. I bought a shirt with the band's name on it, the Flyer Liars. For someone who just started to lose trust in everyone, it felt just right to fall in with that crew. I ended up staying behind with the band while Silva continued on his competitions. He cared, and still cares, a lot about his fans, so he had no problem moving on without me. I went on the road with the band for a bit, mostly around Solace. Karen, KK Cool, played the drums. She called it therapeutic, so I figured I'd pick up some sticks and give it a try. I loved it. Not saying it was my calling or anything, but big things came from that moment. I started a new life. I filled in on the drums every now and then when KK couldn't make a gig. I'd say about half a year went by, and I still hadn't spoken to my parents. It wasn't until the band got booked on Samathi, some sort of relief fundraiser for those lower class people who would never even come close to affording just the scrapes at 10 May. These were the type of people I never even knew existed because of my upbringing, and probably because of my ignorance too. But like I said, I was changed, and I saw it all now. I saw those in need. I saw those struggling while the wealthy paraded around making things worse for everyone else. It was seeing those people who had lived around the corner from my entire life without me ever bothering to look at them. That made me finally get the guts to say a word or two to my parents, and I did. I went home and faced them. I told them I didn't want anything to do with the family's money anymore. They didn't really understand, but I didn't expect them to. And now I see that in time I had been gone, they'd done the opposite of what I hoped. They dropped straight down the rabbit hole. I hope they realize how far gone they are before it's too late. I hope it wasn't too late for me. You're a legend, like me. Nah, Path, I'm no legend. I'm just trying to do my part. That's what I told my parents I wanted to do. I'm sure they thought told my parents what to do. I'm sure they thought I wanted to run away playing drums, probably even give up and come back home. Wasn't a crazy thought. It's hard to forget where it came from. I did, right? But you still want to know. There's probably something inside you that still remembers. Not sure how you're programmed. I know my little Doc's got himself a permanent memory processor. A Chevrolet Ink Special. My parents put a PMP on everything. So everything, I lost my place. So everyone knew where the product came from. No one could wipe that brand. They weren't even hiding the fact that they were playing both sides. I guess that's what fame and power does to you. and that's why I wanted the opposite. I packed up whatever I could, a few shirts, some pictures, a doc, couldn't go anywhere without her, and left that home and life for good. Made my way back to the Flyer Liar shows. I still remember that feeling I had of, well, it ain't loneliness, and it ain't exactly fear. I think it was just an empty feeling. I want to say there was excitement, but there wasn't. I was still missing something. Like I said, that show was a fundraiser for the poor folks on Samathi. But what I didn't say is that it was run by the Frontier Corps. How about that, Path? I leave home to find my place, only to have it looking for me at home. Not saying you should stop looking for your creator or anything, but it's just nice to think that maybe what you're looking for has been waiting for you one way or another. I hope so. That's why I joined the Apex Games. If my creator is looking for me, then maybe they could see me fight or on a banner. That would be really cool. It sure would be something else. Change like that is good for you. I know it was for me. It's funny, I joined the Corps to help people, but it helped me. Oh man, we went over. Well, I guess we're gonna have to make an episode 5. We're getting close to the end. But I'll see you in the next episode.